Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a travel hack video for you, specifically hotel travel when you are with your little ones. I go a lot of places with my 2-year-old, she's like 2.5 now. Our family all lives out of state, so we're on the road with her all the time, and hotels can be a blessing and a curse, right? You have a place to lay your head in the evening, but it can be tricky with toddlers. You know, they're so accustomed to their routine. They like to know what's going on, and when you take them off that routine, it can be hard to get rest, and you need rest. So I have worked out a few hacks that they work flawlessly for me. They really help my daughter feel comfortable and get rest in a hotel. It allows me to get rest, and so I'm going to share these little tips with you, and hopefully you can gain some guidance from them, learn from my mistakes, because most of these things I figured it out based on trial and error. I've got 5 different tips for you, and my favorite tip is number 5, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. The first thing I'm going to tell you about is those little plugins that you put into outlets. You probably have them in your home. If you have a little one, you know, they keep the fingers from going into the little sockets. Pick those up and take them with you to the hotel. I am always surprised how many exposed outlets there are in hotel rooms, particularly because why are people using that many outlets anyway? It's not like you're traveling with a vacuum cleaner, but there are a ton of exposed outlets, and if you pick up a couple packs of those outlet covers from the Dollar Tree, spend a couple dollars, you travel with them, pop them in, you're not going to worry about it. And if you picked them up for just $1, you're not going to be too concerned if you forget them and leave them behind, and it's going to take so much stress off of you knowing that your toddler, your baby, your infant can crawl around and you know they're not in danger. Likewise, there's going to be a lot of small things on the floor that you can just pick up, put on the dressers, on the countertops. Like there's going to be a lot of open little garbage cans. You don't want little hands going into there, right? Just pick stuff up off the floor and you're going to feel better about your visit. My second tip is if your child needs darkness to sleep, like mine does, you're gonna want to take care of those curtains. So most hotel rooms are gonna have a big window at the end of the room, right? And they've got those drapes that they almost never stay totally closed. So what happens? 6 a.m., 7 a.m., a sliver of sunlight is gonna come into the room and wake everybody up. But if you want to keep that closed, I've got 2 different tips for you. The first one, the easiest, just take like a big cushion or something. If there's a throw pillow on your bed, take that off. Or if you have a sofa in your room, just take one of the sofa cushions, pull the drapes together as close as you can get them, and then lean that cushion up against it. It's going to create like a barrier. It's going to keep the curtains from pulling apart, and you're going to get that darkness. If you want to do it professional, upgrade this hack. Bring a roll of like duct tape and then just do a few strips of tape along the curtains, tape them together. You might look crazy to housekeeping, but it's not going to mess up the curtains. Just pull it off before you leave, and you're going to have that peace and quiet that your baby needs. And that duct tape is going to show up in tip number 5. It's going to make an appearance for something that I love to do. My third tip is if your baby needs milk and you don't have a fridge, a mini fridge in the room, that can really cause a problem, right? So first things first, you might want to call down to housekeeping, ask if they have a mini fridge. A lot of hotels, even if they don't put them in the room, they do have them available and they can bring them to you if you need it to store some milk. Sometimes there's a charge, sometimes it's free, but definitely ask if you need that. If there is not a mini fridge available, don't worry, you can still do a few things. So I've taken an ice bucket before, filled it up with just a little bit of ice so that there's still room in the bucket, and then I've put a little carton of milk in there, and then make sure the ice kind of surrounds the milk and put the lid on, and you should be fine with that overnight. Likewise, you could use a sink, fill that up with ice, and then put some small little containers of milk in there. This works best if you've got a bathroom that has 2 different sinks, so you still have a sink to use. And if you can't get away with any of those tricks, you can always call down to room service and ask them to just bring you up some fresh milk when you need it. If that gets a little pricey, because room service can be pricey, most hotel lobbies are going to have some sort of coffee shop, cafe, somewhere where you can pick up some coffee. Run down there, ask them if they can give you a cup of milk. They are probably going to help you out. My next tip kind of goes with the idea of milk and feeding the baby. Toddlers, they need a lot of consumable items. I have talked about this tip, Amazon Prime, in a number of videos. I've done like packing for toddlers, I've done entertaining toddlers on plane videos, and I almost always mention to use Amazon Prime. I'll link those videos below in case you want to check them out. But if you need diapers, wipes, formula, favorite snacks. If you're traveling with all those things, it's gonna clutter up. You're gonna take up a lot of room in your luggage, right? Get your stuff delivered straight to your hotel. Amazon Prime will do this for you. It is so easy. It's not an extra cost if you're already an Amazon Prime member. They'll ship it wherever you want. Maybe give your hotel a phone call, a heads up, and let them know, hey, I'm having a package delivered. But it really, I've done this before, it should not be a problem. The package will be waiting there for you when you arrive, and then you don't have to travel with that stuff. Like I said, consumable items. I used to travel with formula in these big heavy bottles before I had this aha moment. I was like, I know what to do. Also, Amazon Prime, it's often a pretty good price. You might even save a little money over buying it ahead of time or buying it when you arrive. And finally, my fifth tip, this is my favorite one. If you have a child that really needs their own space to sleep, hotel rooms can be awful for that. So my daughter, if I'm sleeping in the same room with her, she'll often sort of open her eyes in the middle of the night. Most little ones do. And if they're at home, they'll usually just roll over and go back to sleep. But if I'm in the same room as my daughter and she opens her eyes in the middle of the night and she sees me, she wants to talk to me. She's gonna be up out of the crib. She's gonna be saying, hi mama. She's gonna wanna play. So it always works best if I can get her in sort of a separate space. And I've figured out 2 ways to do this when traveling in a standard size hotel room. I mean, if you can get a suite with an extra living space, that's great. I've done that before when it kind of made sense money-wise. But if that doesn't make sense, you can set her up in her own room in the bathroom. Hear me out, I'm gonna explain. If you have a hotel room that has sort of a larger bathroom, some of them sort of have like a separate room for the toilet area, the shower's kind of separate, and if there's like a bigger space in the middle of the bathroom, you can have your child sleep in a pack and play in one of these bathrooms comfortably, not a crib, and I'm gonna explain the difference. So a lot of hotels provide rolling cribs, and if that's what your hotel has, that's not going to fit through the doorway of a bathroom typically, but a pack and play will, because you can have it broken down, right, not opened up, walk that into the bathroom and then open it up in the bathroom. Some hotels do provide pack and plays for free. I'm thinking of Disney World right now. Disney does provide pack and plays, and that's where I discovered this trick, because the hotel rooms at the deluxe resorts at Disney World, the bathrooms are quite sizable. So I was able to comfortably get a pack and play in there, but I've done this other places as well. One night we had a blizzard and I had to leave in the middle of the night. The power went out in our home, it was freezing, and I had to go check into a hotel room, and I knew that we needed some sleep, and I had a pack and play at home. I threw that in the car when I took my daughter out, and when we got to the hotel I was able to put her in the bathroom really easily with the pack and play. So if you can use a pack and play, you can bring your own, and you want to try this out, just make sure a few safety things, make sure there's no towels on towel bars that might slip down and fall into the crib. You want to be nice and safe, right? Look around, and maybe you might want to leave the door open a little bit, let some fresh air in there, but try it out, see if it works for you. If that sounds bonkers to you though, I have another way to achieve this, and this is where that duct tape is going to come into play. So the layout of most standard hotel rooms, you open the door and there's going to be a little hallway, right? There's going to be a hallway that you walk through, and to one side there's going to be a door for a bathroom, and then you walk into the living space where the bed's going to be. That hallway makes a perfect little sleep space if you can create a barrier, and here's how you do it, a couple ways. I have before taken a curtain panel and a tension rod, and I've put it right up at the top of the opening of that hallway, and a rolling crib fits nicely in that walkway. And then I've created a little room right there in the hallway with a tension rod. Get an inexpensive one at Walmart for like $4, and a drapery panel. I've used like a blackout curtain panel before. I got on Amazon for like $10, but there's different ways to do this as well. If you forget the tension rod, which I've done before, I've shown up with the curtain panel and no tension rod, get a roll of duct tape, either bring it with you or go buy one at CVS, and you can actually tape the curtain panel up around that opening of the hallway, and you have the same effect, right? And again, housekeeping might think you're crazy, but just pull it down before you leave and it's fine. And then if you forget the curtain panel, or if you really want to travel very light, just bring the duct tape and then get an extra flat sheet at the hotel and tape that up, and you're gonna have a perfect little curtain. Your child can have their own sleep space. Again, safety, make sure your child is pulled away enough from that panel so that if it fell down for some reason, it's not gonna fall on them. But this makes a perfect separate sleep space, and it has saved my husband and I so many restless nights, because my daughter has her own area, we have our own area, we all sleep better. So those are my tried and true travel tips tips for hotel rooms with little ones, please let me know in the comments if you guys have some tips for this, because I am always looking for new ways to make travel stays easier for my family. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it so I know to do more videos like this. I really love doing travel content for you guys. And don't forget, hit that red subscribe button underneath this screen so that you don't miss out on future videos. I do really simple projects, hacks, mommy lifestyle every single week. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.